More big doings in D1A, and of course the big game was number 1 at number 2, Navy, going across the country to play Cal in Berkeley. And I think one of the things about this was the idea that Cal, they've been playing great, right? Been winning games, correct? Giving up a lot of points as well. And so the defense, I don't know if it's suspect. I don't know if it's really just the way they play, or they're ready to go and counterattack at any moment. But they did give up a lot of points, and it was a high-scoring game. I think we've seen a lot of this now. The ability of the Bears to score generally from like set piece in the middle of the field. They're exceptional at that. Their ability to turn the game around, not with the boot as much as they are with just running the ball. I think their support work is high level, but they did give up points, and Navy would not go away. What does this do for the playoff scenario? It actually doesn't do very much, because right now as things stand, you'd see Cal as the number 1 seed from the West, Navy is the number 1 seed from the East, whether one is overall ranked 1 or 2 by Goff Rugby Report or D1A or whomever. It doesn't really matter. But I also want to say that it's really easy to talk about Cal being dangerous out wide, and the really exciting tries that they score with their backs. And they've got Edstrom and De Beer and Newell and Santos and Williams and Comiskey. I'm probably forgetting somebody. Sorry if I forgot you, but those guys are doing a great job. And that belies the fact that they're forwards, especially up front. I think Kirk and Chris up front, that's a good foundation for a tight 5. I like Byron Finley and how he's been working hard on just work rate, support rate, and then Bryce Muller as well. A great addition to the Bears, and that's, again, just starts talking about it. We've got other players going in and out. Their forward pack has done a ton of work to make all of that happen. However, Navy, not out of it. Of course, they scored over 40 against Cal. They got to feel pretty good about that. Their work rate is good. They do play a slightly more conservative style, but that does yield points, and they have one of the best, if not the best, goal kicker in the collegiate rugby game right now in Ronan Krieger. Their forward pack, they work enormously hard. And maybe it's just sort of a little bit of a South African view of how they use their forwards, which is they run them as hard as they can and then put on fresh guys in the backs. Well, they've got to play the whole game, basically. Michael Strail at scrum half, I think he and Solomon Williams, that was a great battle, both of them very good. Ultimately, right now, we're seeing those two as the top seeds from their respective sides. That could change. I don't think it's going to change on the East, but it could change in the West, because Cal plays St. Mary's. That game has still not been played. Now, St. Mary's, always thought of as offensively strong, the team that will score from anywhere, will run from anywhere. They are capable of it. You've got Sia Ofa, Sasaya Pongi, Dom Bisag in that back line. You've got always for St. Mary's, they have loose forwards who will run and not ever stop. Ollie Klein at scrum half now, sort of coming into his own there. And I think that one of the things you might see with, you suspect with St. Mary's, is their defense. They've been holding most teams to low scores. You look at the score, Cal versus Arizona, 57-51. We'll talk about Arizona in a second. And for St. Mary's, it was 68-15. However, very early days for Arizona in that first game, and a little bit more polished in that second game. Arizona at home against Cal, on the road against St. Mary's. You could change that a little bit and make that a little bit closer. Still, it would be kind of an interesting juxtaposition of those two teams to try and come in and say that St. Mary's might be the stronger defensively. That's kind of what we're seeing as we come up to the big game at the end of March, in which these two play each other. The big breakout team has been Arizona. One of the things we see with, and it's been Arizona, sometimes Utah, Arizona and UCLA a lot, is those teams have been close to each other and have won a few games you might get excited about and been plucky losers. And plucky losses, that's UCLA lately. They've lost some games. And that's hurt them in the rankings and potentially in the seedings. Don't know, but potentially in the seedings. They're hovering around the 7-8 level, I think, in the West. Got to win a rugby game. Got to win a rugby game. In the end, got to win a rugby game. Arizona has flipped that. Yes, they lost to St. Mary's. And yes, again, a plucky loss with Cal, right? 57-51 was that game. But they beat UCLA fairly comfortably. They beat Cal Poly, looking pretty good in doing that. They and then this past weekend, I think a big test against BYU. Didn't start so great when they gave up and try. But they continued to do what they do. And really this was a mixture of BYU trying to play fast and doing some spectacular things. You're going to see possibly one of the great individual runs of the collegiate season in this game. But at the same time, Arizona can beat you in a number of ways. They can beat you in the open field. They can beat you. Their maul is actually very strong, and they get very excited that their maul is working. And really, most of this, they did play through their phases, and they did play through their pattern. But BYU would infringe, and BYU would commit penalties, and then Arizona would take those penalties. They might kick for points, or go for the corner and do something from there. And they put that game away. I thought that was the impressive thing for me. Was it was still on a knife edge. And they were able to put that away to make it a 2-score game and win that eventually 39-31. I think that's a big statement for Arizona to do that. And they're a serious team that could shake things up. As it stands, this is how I've got things ranked. Remember, Goff Rugby Report doesn't control all this stuff. We vote in the rankings with our rankings. We put our rankings. The newest rankings are probably coming out. They might even be out. If they're out, I'll pop them up here. If they're not out yet, watch for them. I believe they're coming out this week because I was asked to submit mine for consideration. So I'm assuming they're coming out. But what you see is you got to split those out. You take those East teams and West teams and pop them out here. The teams to look at. I think Colorado State is a tough out for anyone. They're one of the best, just straight club teams, just regular old club teams out there. They're well coached. They've got good athletes. They've got good rugby people, and they're working as hard as they can to get competition to get into this playoff scenario. Grand Canyon, I think, is another breakout team that we've seen that's played well against tough opposition and hasn't backed down. Did very well, almost beat BYU. On the eastern side, the team to watch, in my opinion, well, there are two. Army and Lindenwood. Both the same color scheme, actually. That's interesting. So Navy still ranked top. I think Army is coming out. I got to get the feeling next year they'll be excellent. But this year, very good. Certainly capable of being a semifinal team, if not more. Lindenwood, I think this is as good a Lindenwood team as we've seen in a while. I don't see any overwhelming stars in this Lindenwood team, and I think that's actually a good thing. They play as a team very nicely. They did beat, very close, remember, they beat Life on the road. Life can still play, can still win. Those four, maybe, but I think that the teams to really watch to say, hey, who can knock off Navy? Probably Lindenwood, potentially Army. And then on the West, who can knock off Cal? Number one on that list would be St. Mary's. Thing is, they probably have to do it twice. That's always difficult. And your dark horse, the team that I think nobody wants to play, especially early on in the playoffs, would be Arizona. Just a quick thank you to our sponsors. Next Phase Rugby is an app that helps get college rugby programs connected with high school rugby players. If you're a high school player, you're going to find your home there. And if you're a college looking for just a few different players, you'll find them on Next Phase Rugby. Go to nextphaserugby.com. Irish rugby tours. Now, touring is hugely important in the game. I love a rugby tour. You get to play teams you've never seen before. You get to see things maybe you've never seen before. I always hear stories about how a certain player on a team had never even really been out of the country before and then suddenly gets to go on tour with the rugby team. It's very special. Irish Rugby Tours is best in the business. They are the ones that run the tours, not just in Ireland, all through Europe, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia. You want to go there, talk to them. They will come up with a package you will love. Panther Rugby Academy is when, if you're a young player and you're looking for some elite playing opportunities, they play in Elite 7s tournaments, they play in Elite 15s tournaments, they go on tour like we talked about, they go into major competitions. You want to develop your game and play a little bit, especially in the summer, Panther Rugby Academy is where you got to go. Working on your personal game, whether you're a coach or a player, you want to go to New Zealand and immerse yourself for a couple of weeks at the Crusader Global Immersion Camp? Yes, do that. Do you want Crusaders Global to come to you and work with your team? Yes, you can do that. There are opportunities to develop your game, your team's game, your coaching game through Crusaders Global. Thanks to our kit provider, and actually Next Phase is a kit provider too, so that's pretty cool. And a kit provider for a number of organizations. 8x8 kit, that's a Goff Rugby Report shirt. So yeah, 8x8 Sports, that's get your kit, casual kit, but also game kit. The US Rugby Foundation is how we build the game. If you've got a few bucks available to donate to them, this is a great way for you to support the game at the grassroots level for young elite players, but also just teams that are getting started, teams in regions that are getting started. Everything from the Nelson College Scholarship to other various university scholarship programs, to Ball for All, to the Tent program, to grants for starting clubs, and the Urban Rugby Championships. These are all just a look at the amazing initiatives that the US Rugby Foundation does, and they need your support to do the great work that they do.
Second. Sink. Crouch. Bind. Set. 1, 2, 3. And now 2, 3. And now 2, 3.